Here we go. What's up, guys? It is your majestic individual, SuperCliff, here with another episode talking about things using words to my mouth. And I'm here with a guest, Dylan.
Hello.
He is a friend of mine. I have real people in my life. I know it's weird. It's very strange. And today we're going to be talking about the series finale, or just the series in general, WandaVision, and our thoughts, what to expect for the future of the MCU, and just kind of, shoot the shit, talk about some awesome magic, whatnot. Maybe some philosophy at the end too. Maybe we'll give out some free lessons. And Dylan,
Yes.
how are you today, man?
I'm doing well. I'm
You fully clothed? You ready to talk about this stuff?
from the waist up.
From the waist up. All right, that's what counts. That's what matters. All right, so Dylan, before we kind of settle in our gears, let's talk about like what we thought about this overall. Since you are the guest, the first mate, I think that's what it's appropriately called when you're second in command. I'll give you the honors to start.
Absolutely. I definitely enjoyed WandaVision overall. It was definitely something new from the MCU, which I really appreciate. They've sort of settled into a rhythm, not a bad one, but a rhythm of producing the movies. And they've been, successful. Obviously, I enjoy almost all of them, but it was definitely refreshing to see something we haven't really seen before from them. And I think they absolutely did a fantastic job overall executing it. I wasn't perfect, obviously, but I definitely enjoyed my experience watching it. I think something that they really benefited from was doing the week-to-week release. A lot of shows nowadays, obviously, they do the drop 8 episodes at one time or whatever, and then you binge it in 9 straight hours and it's over, and that's it. I definitely think part of my enjoyment of this was getting it 1 week at a time and having a chance to digest it and to theorize what's going to happen a lot, and to just sort of review and reflect it before the next episode came out. I feel like if they dropped them all at the same time, it certainly would have been a hindrance in that. I would have just watched it all in one day, and then it wouldn't have been much. I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But overall, yes, it was very good.
Yeah, I would say like the whole 1 episode per week. I think it started off like when we were doing The Boys season 2.
Yeah,
I think I would say like when it came to The Boys, I enjoyed season 1 overall much better. But when it came to The Boys season 2, I liked it much more in the social aspect because we got to talk to people for a week.
absolutely.
Have that like recap that conversation, like, oh, this is where it can possibly go in next week, or just different theories and whatnot. It kind of kept it fresh. And like you said, the whole Netflix thing, or just the streaming wars in general, they just drop all their content. They're like, here you go, and have fun for like the next weekend.
Right.
And then it's immediately forgotten like 2 weeks later. Immediately.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that was a show? Oh yeah, I watched
even something, as like grabbing, that grabs the zeitgeist as much as something like what am I thinking of?
Full House.
Something that like Stranger Things, for instance. Everybody watches Stranger Things. Everyone loves Stranger Things. But even a show like that, after a couple weeks, maybe, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it anymore.
Initial explosion. It's like, and
right.
the remnants just kind of go.
Absolutely. This is a lot different, obviously, and I definitely thought that it was a better experience. Having it week to week and getting to talk about it and read, what smart people online have to say about it and stuff like that.
Smart people. The internet is so intelligent. So what I found fascinating about this show, especially in the whole structural aspect of it, was the fact that it was different. It was very different compared to past MCU projects. It didn't necessarily follow the formula, but like you said, they have there's a formula in the MCU. And so you know what to expect. Like there's like the origin part of the first part of it, and then like this, the middle, there's that like revelation, and then the third is always at that final battle. And I think what the MCU does really well is they know when to change that formula. They kind of know like when to like bend it a little bit so it doesn't come off so predictable.
Right.
And I think when it comes to the season finale, like there definitely is that, all right, this is an MCU show. We need to make this like action packed and like have action things happen. But at the heart of the show, it's really not so much action based. Like I never waited for the episode to be like, all right, I can't see like what explosion occurs. Like it was more like the dialogue, the chemistry.
It was more about the emotional aspect, and it's really, it's probably, I mean, I'm trying to think, like Iron Man 3 had a lot of emotion in it because it was about, Tony's PTSD and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it gets touched on. Civil War has some stuff with that, but it's still at the heart, it's still an action movie.
Yeah.
And
there are people who are superpowers and have capes and whatnot.
Right. I thought WandaVision really excelled for the most part in steering away from that standard action movie tropes or action TV, whatever tropes, and really focusing on the emotional aspect of it. How is Wanda handling the grief of another major loss in her life, and how how it affects those around her, and what she's doing to the townspeople and stuff. And that's kind of unfortunately why I thought the last episode might have been the weakest of them, was because it steered away from that. And like you said, it included the big action pieces and spent the majority of the episode focused on, the Wanda Agatha battle or the Vision battle. Not that they were bad. I especially enjoyed the Vision battle. That was phenomenal.
That was really cool.
It was just,
we'll get to that part in a little bit, but yeah, sure. I mean, no, definitely like, it seemed like at the end, everything happened because it needed to happen. Like, oh yeah, we are an MCU show. This needs to happen, whatnot. I think when it came to like their last conversation, and we'll get more into detail in a little bit, but like their last conversation before like everyone kind of faded away, that's where it really struck home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where it definitely hit the spot that it needed to hit.
Right.
And just overall, I think the show did not what you expected, but at the end, it did do what you expected. And I think what hurt the show is not so much the show itself. I think it's more the momentum the show has, the audience, because I read comics. I know maybe sometimes too much about Marvel, and so like my fan theory is like going way out there, and all the theories I had were wrong.
Yeah,
everything I said was wrong, and no one was just like, it's just no one said, oh, it's just going to be this. Everyone was like, no, it's going to be this, and it was never that.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought it was cool, actually. I enjoyed how wrong I was. I enjoyed that Mephisto and Nightmare didn't show up.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
They shouldn't. They should be introduced they shouldn't. Like a big movie, because like
exactly.
They're known characters within the comic book landscape. So it's like, to introduce Mephisto and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or like Jessica Jones, like what are you doing? Who do you think you are? Like, what kind of person? Like, how do you have sex with your wife? Like, so it's just it. That was a Rick and
definitely. Yeah, I definitely. I definitely also like. I don't know if this is how it's going to stay, because the second post credit sort of steers away from this, but I definitely liked the super misdirect casting Evan Peters as Quicksilver, leading all of us to think, here's the X-Men. We're finally getting the X-Men. They're bringing them all in. Hell yeah, it's here. And then it just turns out, nope, he's just another dude that, this time it was Agatha taking over. They were just screwing with us. I don't necessarily know if that's how it's going to stay, but I certainly am okay with it if it is. That was a really funny troll. I'm happy they did that.
And I think when it comes to that stuff, it's interesting because like the MCU is so big.
Huge.
Like it's not NFL big, but like within movie landscape, it's big. It's the NFL movie. And
it's certainly, I don't think anything at this point, especially, the only other things that even come close is something like the Star Wars universe.
We live in Boston, by the way. I just want to make that clear to anyone watching this.
How far do I have to go for something Patriots? It's right here. Celtics right here.
Hey, I like the Celtics. But anyways, you were saying before I exposed.
Yeah, like you said, it is NFL big. The only thing that even comes close is Star Wars right now, and that isn't, even with them expanding with their TV show universe, which has been just as successful, obviously, with Mandalorian, just if not more successful than WandaVision.
Yeah.
I still don't think they don't have as many characters they pull from. They don't have as many, as much backstory to work with. It really is incomparable at this point.
Yeah.
And they're still succeeding at it, which is impressive.
Well, I think like with Star Wars right now, at least for like as a whole, it doesn't have a vision. Like not like Paul Bettany vision. It doesn't have like a path. It doesn't have like a goal. It's the same thing with
cohesive.
Like let's just get all the stuff in here and but no, because it sucks. That's why. Like you need to have a vision of any kind of good story, whatnot. You need to know where you're going, and not just kind of make it up along the way. I really enjoyed that Quicksilver wasn't back, and I don't want to like talk shit about Quicksilver, but like, who cares? I know there are people who do care, and like it's not like Evan Peters is bad. Like he was great as the X-Men Quicksilver, and I totally love the idea that he came back as a fake Quicksilver. But I'm so glad that like the X-Men or just mutants were not introduced in this, because
absolutely,
like I said, like that deserves their own movie. So, to just kind of cram it all in this one show, no, don't do that. Tell a story.
Right. It would have been like super backdoor of them. Too much backdoor, actually.
And like even like WandaVision's huge, and like
right,
and whatnot, it's still not a movie.
Absolutely, so it's still not it's not supposed to be a showcase for new characters. Yeah. Outside of like something, someone who's relatively minor, like Agatha or Photon,
or like Monica Rambeau, like how she was introduced in as a kid. But like, you mean, and I also want to get to her right after this.
Right,
but
like,
right. Yeah, but like overall, like I would grade the show B+, A-. I would say like it's definitely different. If you just watch the first 2 episodes and you're like, screw this is boring. We probably can't be friends, but no, I'm just kidding.
You say that because we have friends who did that. So
100%, yeah. and I'm pretty sure I texted them being like, "You're nothing anymore." Just kidding. I'm not that cool, but I am. But I would say like once episode 3 happened, I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah. So let's talk for a second about how they use the sitcom tropes to frame the show. It's a really cool idea. I think it's pretty original. I can't immediately recall anything that like stole another genre's, like did so many homages. There have been a lot of homages over the years for, to one thing or another, but nothing did it quite like they just did it. So I thought that was original. I thought it was a big leap they took, and I thought they, for the most part, nailed it. I think what suffered the most is just an unfamiliarity that people have with the older shows, myself included. I am certainly no 50s and 60s sitcom expert, but I think they suffered the most in that is that the writers, it's easier to write for Modern Family style or Malcolm in the Middle style because we all grew up with that. The writers did. They've seen those, they know those well. Some of them probably even wrote spec scripts or something like that. But something like Bewitched or Dick Van Dyke, or something older like that, Family Ties, the familiarity isn't there. So that's why I think the episodes early on had some awkward moments or whatever. But I think it was mostly because of that. It wasn't because of the acting. Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, and the other stars, they were unbelievable.
The other
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, they were fantastic. I mean, obviously everyone's going to focus on Kathryn Hahn, as they should, because she was
incredible.
So good as the nosy neighbor. She absolutely killed it.
I loved how they didn't kill her at the end too.
Yeah, that was really good. We'll see her again for sure.
Because I know in the comics, she does play an antagonistic role, but she's also like a tutor to Wanda.
Yeah, and I certainly see. I think whether it's Strange 2, which we obviously know Wanda's going to appear in, or if it's something later on property, I definitely feel like. Yeah, exactly. I feel like we'll be seeing her in that role eventually. That's why they kept her around. Wanda's studying the Darkhold, as we can see right now.
Yeah.
And she's going to have questions, and Agatha is where she will get those answers.
And that will also obviously lead into Doctor Strange to the whole Darkhold thing.
Yeah.
I would say like what's interesting about do you know anything about the Darkhold? I do, but like do you know?
A brief, not nearly as much as you do, obviously.
Okay. So I will teach you the ways, my child.
Please.
My sweet prince. So basically the Darkhold in the comics, it's gonna get weird. So for any of you listening, check it. So the Darkhold was a book, and it was created by like this elder god named Cthulhu. And like any kind of fantasy trope kind of thing, he got defeated by certain new gods or whatnot, and so he escaped like Earth realm, like our realm. But in order to come back, make his return, he created this Darkhold book, and basically he put all like his spells and information. The Darkhold serves as a conduit for Cthulhu's return, and that mountain that you see Wanda at the end, that's Mount Chthon or something like that. That's what's called, Mount Chthon. I think I'm saying it right. Correct me. But that's where the book was placed before Cthulhu left Earth and was trapped in his dimension. So anyone who uses the book is susceptible to Cthulhu's influence.
Right.
So I guarantee you that mountain that she's at, like that area, that's Mount Chthon. And that location,
that would make absolute sense. I can definitely see that.
And that I don't know. Here's like I don't know if the MCU will use Cthulhu, and the reason why I say it because the MCU is PG-13 based. There are dark moments like Thanos snapping half existence, but there's no like blood sacrifice. Like there is, but there isn't. You know what I mean? And
I understand. Yeah,
I'm sure they could, but they might replace Cthulhu with another character or meld him into like a couple of characters. It depends what they do, and we'll see by that point. I could have I was really anticipating at least a mention of Mephisto. I'm being completely honest. Not like an introduction to him, but like a mention. Like Agatha was trying to harness Wanda's power to maybe ward off certain dark elements from outer planes.
I guess I can see why they would want to do that. But I'm not upset that we didn't get it.
Yeah. No, I'm not upset either. Like, I'm glad everything happened the way it did. I would say like the only issue I had was maybe add more things in the first 2 episodes, like more hints. Like I get it, but like I think because you need that because it's MCU, it got those 2 episodes were able to get away. You know what I mean?
Right.
But just because like I would say to draw people in, like have that one hook that isn't just a radio calling out to Wanda. Maybe add something a little bit different, or I don't know. And at the end, maybe not like make things all like just so happy. Like Wanda was technically the villain. Like her and Agatha were the villains.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And like Wanda just kind of like walks away.
that irked me a little bit. Yeah.
And like I want to say like who's gonna stop Wanda from walking away? But at the same time, it's like, hey Monica, aren't you like a hero now?
I didn't like actually how they we have that's a really great scene when Agatha starts releasing the town from Wanda's grip, right? And they start converging on her, and basically it shows her how much she's really been forcing these people to suffer and what she's really been putting through. And then she sort of has that moment where she says, okay, this is too much, I can't do this, and decides to release the town. And she ends up changing her mind or whatever because of her family. But at the end, I felt like they let her off the hook. With sort of being like, hey, like when she has that conversation that you just mentioned with Monica at the end, that's kind of letting Wanda off the hook there when Monica says, I would have done the same thing. Like, isn't the lesson that we're supposed to gather from here that like you have to make the self-sacrifice
and not maybe enslave an entire town.
Seriously,
New Jersey or not, like, you know.
New Jersey, yeah, whether it's the shithole of this country or not,
yeah,
you know, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to, whatever,
supposed to.
Do that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the first lessons you're taught in like first grade.
Exactly. Yeah.
But let's talk about Monica.
Absolutely.
I really liked her character a lot. So much so, I wish she was Captain Marvel instead.
Oh, Nick, calm down. I know how much you love Captain Marvel, so.
I like Brie Larson, but I just no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I am very happy that where they used her character. I think they did a good job with her, except for the end. And I think we had this with all three of our major supporting characters there: Monica Rambeau, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy Lewis. Darcy got one scene in the final episode. It's a great joke. It's possibly my favorite joke of the whole entire series.
Yeah,
it was fantastic, and great to see. But like, come on, Kat Dennings is such an incredible actress. You barely use her at all in like the second half of the season. You know, she got some good stuff in the beginning. Her interaction with Jimmy Woo was fantastic.
Yeah,
they had
he
a
was
really
awesome.
good play. He was awesome.
He really stood out this season.
Yeah, Park's a fantastic actor.
Oh yeah. Magic trick.
Yeah. Oh, so good. And to actually have he got a good sort of came around full circle there, where he uses it to distract him and take the phone.
Yeah,
that's a really good. That really did a good job there. But like Darcy doesn't get anything like that, and then they cut her from the end. The line, you know, obviously the throwaway about her not wanting to debrief.
I think her character gets a redemption, like just in general, as like, hey, remember that Thor character that no one liked? Well, now you like her.
Yeah. That's okay that they want to do that. Like, I have no problem with that's how they want to handle it. That's okay. But like, she's such a better character, and I think she deserved more. And Kat Dennings is such a fantastic actress. It would have been nice. I understand how. I think it was another product of how they formatted the show, doing the majority of the early episodes with the 50s and 60s stuff, and then later on having the more modern stuff. Because Kat Dennings is obviously a comedic actress, and you know, familiar with sitcoms. It would have been great to see her sort of in that world doing some more acting in there.
Like when she comes under the influence and becomes like the Two Broke Girls sitcom.
Exactly. That would have like we should have gotten. I feel like a couple more scenes with that. However they could have structured it would have made the show better. It would have improved things.
I think my favorite part about the Monica Rambeau character was in episode 4 when you get her origin. Well, like we know it's Monica Rambeau, but like the audience doesn't.
Yeah.
Because you know we're nerds and we use the internet to our advantage on this. But like that scene when she's like, my mother died, my mother's dead. No, she like survived the surgery. So no, your mom died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Cancer came back. You were gone. And it's just like, yo, the blip, how the blip is like, it like affected the entire universe. It's like, it was like in Spider-Man Far From Home, it was played as a joke.
Like, well, that's Sony. Fuck Sony.
But like that was also like a Spider-Man movie, so like it's more of like a jokey.
Yeah, I know that was the point. I just disagree.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
But like, but like I liked how they used the blip to like really be like, no, like actually you can just like appear in the middle of the street and a car might ran over you because you literally just popped up there. And like
because you were gone.
I love like, and I know the theme about this show is chaos. And how much chaos can like disrupt lives, no matter the scale.
Absolutely, and I thought that was really cool. We finally got like a legitimate scene featuring that, because obviously, you know, Spider-Man, like you said, glosses over it, and that's really the only piece of property we've gotten since the snap and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's cool. Obviously, Marvel, they love to pay attention to the little things. If you time up Hulk's snap with that scene, it lines up really well.
Yeah.
There's some really cool stuff there.
God, obviously. I love him so much.
It's hard not to.
Love him and his team. But yeah, let's add these closing thoughts, Dylan, my friend, my fellow prince. What do you? I feel like this show is going to more lean more towards Doctor Strange 2 than like Shang-Chi or Spider-Man 3.
The only other thing I can think of,
Loki.
no, not even. I was going to say Secret Wars, but that's really only the final scene with Rambo seeing a Skrull again.
You mean Secret Invasion?
Yeah, Secret Invasion. Sorry,
yeah. That's like when the Skrulls are like invading Earth.
Yeah, but I think the Rambo thing that's clearly leading into Marvel too.
Yeah, she's gonna be in Captain Marvel too. I know that.
Yeah,
along with Miss Marvel. But Doctor Strange too. Yeah, I think that's where things are. That's the movie that like is gonna affect the MCU the most out of Phase 4. I think Internals will probably be the best just because the way it's being hyped right now. But like when it comes to MCU, like effective, like
the overarching story that they're going for,
like new status quo shift or whatever. That's where the Doctor Strange 2 movie will come in.
I can absolutely see.
Be that. Like, hey, here's people back from the dead or something, and look, there's Wolverine, but it's not Hugh Jackman. It's just a guy passing through. The Watcher, like whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any more thoughts to address on this matter, my friend?
I'm very happy they did a good job. I was incredibly nervous they were going to screw it up.
I was afraid they might burn down King's Landing, but that was another show I was mistaken with. So I mean,
who has a better story than Wanda Maximoff? Okay.
Did it? Was it though? Was it? I mean, like they kind of just flushed it. But I digress. Well, that will be it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I am your host, Majestic Prince of the West, SuperCliff. If you like this video and like what I say with words, hit that like and subscribe button. If you don't, then don't. And that's Dylan. He's a man.
Thank you.
And peace out.